Welcome to the Built Different podcast, the podcast that is for tradies that are built different. I'm your host, Ryan, and
I'm Simon, just an apprentice trying to work his way through it all.
Yep, and I'm just a corporate bloke that is trying to learn a thing or two about being a tradie.
That's why we have an expert with us today, and we're very excited. Our guest today is Josh Mansour.
Expert?
I
used to be an apprentice, not anymore, thank God for that. Those were the hard days. But yeah, enjoying transitioning back into the construction industry is pretty cool.
But mate, thank you very much for joining us today on the Built Different podcast. We're very excited to have you here.
I'm excited too, man. Let's get this show on the way.
Yeah, all right. So before we get into it, what's your favourite smoko snack?
Favourite smoko snack? A dart, sausage roll, and a V. Perfect combo. No, all seriousness. Back in the day when I was an apprentice, I reckon I was the only bloke that didn't smoke, honestly.
Wow.
Yeah. All my mates was love the darts, and I was just having to be a passive smoker, unfortunately. But I made the NRL, so I was all good. Didn't affect the lungs too much, thank God.
So what were you like as an apprentice then?
It was pretty tough, I'm not going to lie. I think I was 16, 17 when I was the first year coming out of school. I was a bit confused on what I wanted to do. Yeah. My dad, I think just because I had a funky hairstyle, decided, why don't you go be a barber? And I'm like, nah, I don't think it's for me.
Was there something in that? What was your hairstyle?
Oh, yeah, do I have to share that? Oh, mate, I had the...
I'm sure a Google search will we can dig it up from somewhere, drop it on the socials.
Maybe not. Don't do that. I'm sure you'll find something if you go search for it. But yeah, so he suggested to be a barber, but my footy coach when I was playing at St. John's, just a junior rugby league club, he was a builder. And he offered to come work with him, and I was mainly doing a bit of labouring work, and I was a bit confused on exactly what trade to pick.
Yep.
I liked carpentry just because it's kind of jack of all trades. You can do frame roofs, stud walls. You can even do gyprock in blue board, cladding. So I feel like there's a big variety we can do, and the rest is history, man. Yeah, ended up juggling footy and being an apprentice. That was challenging. But,
how'd you do it? How'd you balance all that out?
Yeah, it was pretty tough. I think back when you're a kid as well, you kind of got a lot of time for yourself and you kind of invest in yourself a bit more. You don't have the stresses of like your family, mortgages, bills. So I kind of just woke up 5:30 mostly every day on site, obviously at 7 o'clock in the morning, and you have your lunch break, and then you leave site for 3:30, and after I left site, full of chipwood and splinters and whatnot, I'd jump in my car and go straight to training, which was awesome. And just catching footies and doing my gym work and getting home around like 8:30 at night every day was challenging, but at the end of the day, I knew what I wanted to do, and I wanted to finish my apprenticeship, and I wanted to make the NRL, and I ticked 2 boxes.
That's awesome. Yeah. We want to know, do you still have your tools?
I do. I got a couple of tools at home. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I still got my nail bag. It's a bit dusty, but I pull it out from time to time. Still got my East Wing hammer. So that's pretty much it.
You're still in touch with the common man. We like to see it.
Thanks. Yeah.
Ryan, what are we talking about today with Josh in the studio?
Today we're talking about not just taking opportunities, but creating them for yourself. Yeah.
So you obviously started as a carpenter, and then went through, played footy, but then you've still had close ties with the construction industry.
Yeah, definitely. I enjoy the construction industry just because I love creating a vision and making it into reality. I feel like it's so satisfying and fulfilling, and especially when you see the reactions from the clients, it's pretty priceless. And I think with renovating in general and building, it can be quite stressful, but I think it comes back down to, making sure you're being transparent, communicating well, and obviously getting your finances in check. And if you can tick those 3 boxes, it can be actually an enjoyable process. And I enjoy construction. I loved juggling both footy and the building game. And it's been a great journey so far.
So what's in the works?
So I'm started my own renovation business. It's called Click Built, and it's been operating at the start of this year. And the biggest thing for me, I wanted to kind of saturate the market. Yep. I wanted to kind of tailor to the client's needs. If it's just basic minor renovation, or if it's a major renovation, or if it's a new build. So for me, like Renaissance was only tailoring to one arm of the market, and I kind of wanted my vision wanted to saturate the market itself. So it's been great so far, and obviously brings its new challenges and whatnot, but the transition's been pretty good so far.
Well, a lot more clients, right? And client management skills. It's got to come into play a lot more.
Correct. Like I feel like with Renocell, like it was great to kind of open, especially during the boom. So that really helped. A lot of people wanted to sell and definitely capitalizing on maximum return. Not so much fun for the buyers, unfortunately, but now obviously there's been a bit of a turn with interest rates going up, inflation, cost of living and whatnot. And now there's more new challenges, right? So
Yep. I want to ask you about, there's a lot of parallels between footy and construction.
Yeah, of course.
And when it comes to injuries, they're a really unfortunate part of both industries, but the reality of what we kind of deal with on the day to day.
I know.
When you go through something like that and you're faced with those setbacks, what kind of mindset do you need to have to move through to get back on track?
For me personally, it's initially the first 24 hours where it's the hardest. I think it's just natural just to ask questions, and you really don't get really much answers back. Just end of the day, when you get an injury, a lot of it's bad luck. For me, I'm a big box ticker, so I kind of like laying out a plan on how I'm going to get through my recovery. So if it's, I'll be running on week 4, I'll be stepping on week 6, and week 8 I'll be back playing. So I feel like if I've got that in place, it kind of gives me hope, and I kind of tick boxes as I go, and it kind of helps my mindset, if that makes any sense. No different with a tradie, I know. I get it's much harder, especially because like the demands of being on site, you have to be there, you know what I mean? And with playing footy, I've got the luxury of having physios, masseuses, and obviously a gym that I can access 24/7. So that I can understand is a bit challenging, but again, it's about putting in the work, and end of the day, it is what it is. You can either accept it, or you can you can just dwell on it and just let it affect you.
Yeah.
And I think that's key, right? It's taking an active approach to your recovery, and doing the work, putting the work in so that you do get there, right?
I think it's just hard as well. Like people like using the excuse, I'm so busy with work and stuff. Like I've got no time, and I think that's a cop out. To be totally honest, like you make time, and you have to invest in yourself. From time to time, you can't just keep investing in your work. I get it. Like work is bringing in the bread, but end of the day, like you need to make sure you're healthy and fit. Because if you're not healthy and fit, your mindset starts, going elsewhere, and then your work's got to be,
And it leads to more accidents, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Going back to your early career when you're juggling being an apprentice and then trying to make it in footy, what did you learn from being an apprentice in time on the tools that you're able to apply to your career?
I think most of it was scheduling. Like I was terrible at scheduling. Like I didn't know how to kind of juggle footy and work at the same time. Like so the first few months was pretty difficult, and I think it was hard to accept the fact that I was having to sacrifice a lot of hours and time, not seeing my friends, family. That was probably the most difficult. But at the end of the day, I knew what I wanted to do, and that was obviously to fulfill my apprenticeship and to be playing in the NRL one day. And I knew if I applied myself, the hours on site, the hours at work, and obviously the hours in the gym on the footy field, that everything was going to pay off eventually. And I guess it just came down to believing in myself, and I'm grateful that everything, kind of worked out.
Yeah.
Did you have a good support network around you at that time?
Oh, I definitely did. I had my girlfriend, who's now my wife, so we were high school sweethearts. She was my number one supporter. At the time, she really wasn't a big fan of rugby league, so I've kind of converted. And she wasn't a big fan picking me up after work, smelling like sweat and BO, and obviously like timber.
Working hard all day.
Just hard yakka, babe. Hard yakka, It's... But she was probably the biggest supporter of mine, and she really pushed me in the right direction and keeping me focused, no doubt.
How's having a trade behind you impacted the way that you make your decisions about the business pursuits?
Yeah, well, it definitely, for me, especially when I was playing in under 20s, like it was always pushed on us to make sure you have something to back you up because, injuries, like we said, happen and you need to have something to fall back on. And I was very grateful that I had my carpentry certificate and I had my contractor's license there. And again, it's just making sure, for me, it was like an insurance policy, right? Yep. So I knew that if footy didn't work out, that me coming into the industry, the construction industry, I should say, was always there for me. And I knew it was something that I loved. And that was...
Because you can tell you've still got a passion for it now.
Yeah, you reckon?
Yeah.
I haven't stopped smiling, but I really enjoy it. I think also being around the boys as well. It's kind of, you've got that similarities with footy and with being on site.
It's a team environment, right?
It's a team effort. Yeah. It is a team effort. You have a bit of banter and... mate, it's really rewarding when you put in all the hard yards early in the day and then, you get to clock off and, it's definitely rewarding.
Yeah.
And so you find yourself back on site now, maybe not so much on the tools, but, managing a lot of the, trades and things like that now. How are you going with all of that?
Yeah, most of it's delegating. Yeah, so that's been a bit of a transition.
Are you a better delegator or better on the tools?
Oh, that's a very good question. I don't know. I probably delegated, to be honest. Right now, anyway. It's been many years since I've been on site, right? So I've been playing professionally rugby leagues for 12 years.
Yeah.
And now that I'm kind of transitioning away from rugby league, it's I do get on site when I can. A lot of love jobs for mates where they come around building decks and pergolas and whatnot. But so I feel like just delegating, making sure the trades are on time, making sure they're fulfilling their end of the bargain and coming up with really good work. So, and end of the day, making sure the client is happy. So, I've been enjoying it. Like I said, it's like I knew that playing footy was going to end one day, and I always wanted to make sure I had that backup plan in place. And good thing for me, construction was there, and it's like I never left really.
That's great. And then your work ethic from footy, how's that transitioned back to being on site and calling the shots there?
That's been big for me. I feel like that's really helped.
It's not like you've had like a constant, I don't know, like the managerial role in between.
Nah.
You're just thrown back into it, and it's a big shift, right?
What's helped me is in my back end of my career, like I've adopted that senior experience role. So naturally, the younger guys would come up to me and ask me questions about their game or how to get better and how to get stronger and whatnot. And I feel like that's kind of transition into construction because I'm obviously giving feedback to the client. I'm talking to the tradies, and it's just come off naturally, if that makes any sense.
Yeah.
And like I said, I couldn't be happy with the transition that I've had so far, and it's just starting too, which is pretty exciting.
It's interesting that you say that it came off naturally because that's a completely different skill set to be able to manage all of that that side of the business.
Yeah.
So no formal training or anything like that. You followed your nose.
I threw myself in the deep end, to be totally honest. I had, like I said, when I was with Renaissance, I had 3 guys that I was with, so we're all sharing the load. Yeah. And now, like I've got one other partner, so it's he manages like the construction arm, and I manage majority of the client relations and sometimes project managing. And it's been good harmony so far. And like I said, you said it before, I can't wipe the smile off my face. I think for me, like it was daunting at first, but I feel like I just needed to, like I said, when I was being an apprentice, I knew what I wanted, and now that I'm transitioning away, I know what I want, and that's to have a successful renovation business.
Yeah.
And it's something that you spoke about before the show was having a vision and really bringing it to life, and it's the satisfaction that comes with it, right?
Without a doubt.
Mm. So over the next couple of years, have you kind of got that mapped out and you see what that looks like for you and your business? Or are you still kind of figuring out, and what mindset are you taking into that? That's
a very good question. I know like I want to have the business be successful. I want it to have legs and whatnot, and it's been really good so far. But long term, I don't know. It's who knows how big could it get? You know, like obviously you need to be doing good work. You need to get the work in the first place. And man, if everything goes well and everything keeps on rolling, then there's no limit. There's no limit. Like how big
I suppose that's the exciting part of it, right?
Yeah, like for me personally, like I love flipping. I love the idea of flipping.
Yeah.
Like we spoke again about turning visions into reality, and I feel like that's the most satisfying thing. Just flipping homes, particularly like the biggest challenging one is like the heritage homes. I reckon, like having to follow certain guidelines, but also keeping testament the house itself. And for me, like I feel like heritage homes they're challenging, but I feel like they look outstanding once they're fully renovated.
It's got that character when you're restoring something and giving it new life.
Correct.
Special.
Correct. Yeah, definitely.
Yep. So Josh, you've achieved a lot through your footy career and then in your own businesses. What does success look like to you, and how do you gauge what success is?
That's another great question. Well, if you're looking at success on the footy field, it's obviously doing the best you can position-wise as well, and obviously winning games for your team, working well with your teammates, keeping injury-free. Obviously, the individual accolades can come along later, but I feel like it's based around your team as well. So obviously, being in rugby league, it is a team sport, just like in construction.
Yes.
Like if you
so many parallels between that.
Yeah, if you have your own business, like you have your own, workers, employees, you've got the clients. So essentially, you are a team. So you got to really mesh well with the people around you. And success is really about having fun, enjoying yourself. And just creating achieving your goals essentially. That's for me. That is success. Like as long as you can achieve your goals, especially the stuff that you believe in.
Yep.
I feel like that is success.
So have you got like specific goals that you set out to achieve? Is that a very conscious thing for you?
Definitely, yeah. I feel like it helps. Like if you can, put in your mind, just create a vision and what you want and kind of manifest that. I feel like it's just extra motivation to push you towards that direction, and that's how I've always been, and that's what's worked for me, particularly with my younger days, and that's definitely what I'll continue to do while I'm currently 32 now, so it's kind of the same game plan.
Creeps up on you.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's come quick, let me tell you.
As a rookie, what did you learn throughout your footy career that you've been able to take on to apply to the rest of your approach to footy?
To kind of master your trade. I feel like, just definitely as a rookie, you want to kind of be the best you can be and just keep learning as much as you can, man. Yep. Just be eager, ask questions, don't be shy, and work as hard as you can, and work on your strengths. Like a lot of people say, I'm just going to work on my weaknesses and stuff like that so I can get better. But then they
doubling down on your strengths is so important as well.
Double down, 100%. And like, it's no different with construction, right? Like just as an apprentice, you want to learn as much as you can, do all the hard. I know sometimes you kind of like you don't want to really go to TAFE and like sit in a classroom, but end of the day, you got to do it. You got to do it. You got to knock out the pages in the books and the textbooks and whatnot, and it's eventually going to pay off. So definitely just continue to be eager, learn as much as you can, and be better every day. Just be better.
Yep.
Is that something that you wish someone had have told you at the start of your career? Or was that just kind of I get the sense that that's just part of who you are.
Essentially, I'm not going to lie, it's kind of something that I live by. It's not a philosophy or motto, but I kind of like lived every day just to kind of be better and just whatever it might be. It could be on site. It could have been on the footy field. It could have been away from everything, just being at home, like just even fixing stuff around the house, but just always making sure and be better, just progressing. Not chasing perfection, chasing progression. That's a big thing for me.
I love that, because that's exactly what Built Different is all about. It's all about growing and being passionate and keep pushing in that direction.
Yeah,
right?
No one's perfect, really. You know what I mean? So as long as you're getting better every day, you can get closer to being perfect.
Yeah. Have you had mentors, and how closely do you work with those people? How much of an influence have they had on your journey?
Yeah, like I've had many mentors, particularly when I first started playing rugby league and debuted. The current head coach for the Bulldogs, Cameron Serrata, was a bit of a mentor for me. And, as a rookie, when you're coming into the game, there's no perspective. Like you just got, you're just tunnel vision. It's all about joy. You're having fun. You're achieving, you're playing and living your dream. And sometimes you kind of drift off through the clouds, but I had Ciro there really pulling me down and keeping me grounded.
That's good.
And what I soon noticed was that the knowledge that he was sharing with me, I was sharing that knowledge with the younger guys. I'm like, I'm one of those old guys now. So it's come quick. I'm one of those guys. But
well, that's important. You find if that's the advice that you've taken on, and then you find you're passing it on, it's worked for you.
Yeah,
it's trial and tested.
I feel like it's natural to feel like when you're young, you kind of, and you got that older head trying to talk sense into you. You're like, oh, here we go again.
Yeah, the old bloke.
You know what I mean, right? Like, but really sit back and just really listen to them. You know what I mean? Because they've lived a longer life than you. They've experienced and a lot more things than you. So just kind of sit back and try and take it all in, because end of the day they've got more knowledge than you do and more experience.
And they're there to help you, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And was that that mentorship, was that an active thing that you asked, or was it organic?
Pretty
Did you
organic.
seek that out?
Yeah, it's pretty organic. I didn't really seek that out. It just happened naturally, to be honest. And for me personally, I kind of like, I guess, the people you hang out with, the environment you're in, that's pretty much who you are, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like it's the same thing when you're watching whatever you watch and consume. So I used to watch a lot of clips on Kobe Bryant. I used to get a lot of motivation from him, Michael Jordan, Cristiano Ronaldo, those kind of guys. They've achieved greatness, and I wanted to know why and how they achieved that. And again, we spoke about working on our strengths, continually working on our strengths. Yes, you have to work on your weaknesses, but just double down on your strengths definitely as well was a big one for me.
But you know what I love there is that you sought out motivation, right? You're watching clips online to keep yourself motivated.
Yeah.
Was there anything else that keeps you going?
For me, again, goals. We go back to goals. Yeah. I've always had those goals, and they help me want to drive and strive for that. So whatever, I lay out a plan in place, and whatever I need to do to achieve that, nothing can stand in my way.
Yeah.
I'll just keep going, keep striving for it. And you have some roadblocks from time to time, but again,
it gives you guidance to keep you moving through past those things.
100%. A path with no obstacles often leads to no destination. Yeah. So you want to learn from your mistakes as well. I think that's a big one. And again, just keep pushing through because, no path is perfect.
Yeah, and it's that determination that keeps you going.
Without a doubt, 100%.
Ryan, do we want to jump into a couple of questions from our Instagram page?
Yeah. If you would like, before we get into it, if you'd like to submit a question for next time, Built Different Australia, go and drop us a message. But one of the ones from our community online is, what advice would you give to your younger self?
Oh wow, that's a great question. What would I say? Just to stick at it, there was a few days where it got tough. It was really hard to kind of to juggle, obviously working as an apprentice and footy, and there were some times where I lost faith in myself and belief, and I feel like you are going to have those tough days, but just keep pushing through it and always believe in yourself no matter what. Like, there's going to be a lot of doubters out there, and there's a lot of people that aren't going to really believe in yourself, but as long as you truly believe in yourself, mate, you can achieve anything. I seriously, truly believe that.
Yeah, because you would have seen both sides of the coin sitting on the wing out there.
Yeah, mate. Copped a lot of sledges from the fans. You hear a lot from the stands. You're getting, hearing from your players on your inside. So,
teach you a thing or two about resilience.
Oh yeah. Without it, 100%. Resilience is big as well.
Thrown into the deep end, and you just got to deal with it, right?
Yeah, 100%. Sink or swim, right?
Yeah, that's good. Awesome. And then I also want to know, I know you kind of said you'd be back around on site, but will we ever see you back on the tools?
Why not? Well, mate, like I said, I kind of enjoy from time to time. The body's got a few bumps and bruises from my NRL career days, but mate, I do love working with the boys from time to time, and I reckon definitely you'll see me soon.
That's good. Love to see it.
So where can our legends out there find you online?
Oh, mate, just jump on my Instagram, Josh Mansour _. You can see I'm pretty active on my Instagram, and plenty of shirtless photos as well, so enjoy that. but mate,
shameless plug.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you got one on now.
I'm sweating bullets with this jacket, but I definitely colour matched with the studio.
That's good.
But yeah, mate, just jump on my socials. You'll see plenty of great stuff from me there.
Yeah. And what about for your next project? ClickBuilt?
ClickBuilt, yeah. ClickBuilt, monitor that. It's going to be launching really soon, so I'm really excited about that. And mate, I'm really, really excited with this with this direction it's taking me. Like I said, I've always loved construction, and I love helping people that want to kind of turn their vision into reality. So it's going to be an exciting time for me.
That's great to see that transition over your career, where you started out in construction, have gone off, done something you're passionate about with footy, but then coming back to another passion of being in the construction and property industry. That's great.
It definitely helps if you're passionate about something. You kind of enjoy it. It doesn't really feel like work, right? So it is your passion.
It helps.
Yeah, definitely helps. So for me, it's not really work. I really enjoy what I do, and I hope it's a long-term thing for me.
Yeah, awesome.
Great.
Well, best of luck with ClickBuilt.
Thank you.
That's about all we've got time for today, I think.
Yeah, so thanks everyone for tuning in for another episode of the Built Different podcast, powered by HIA. And reach out and follow us on our Instagram page at Built Different Australia. We will catch you next time on the Built Different podcast, the podcast for tradies that are
Built different.